Hey, how you guys doing? This is Eddie again with One Step Home Buyers, and we're here with our general contractor, George. He's gonna do a quick walkthrough about doing a renovation for a rental property. A big mistake that a lot of investors do is they over renovate. They spend too much on their renovation, maybe in a neighborhood where the comps don't equal or don't match those renovations and those types of expensive finishes. So George is going to tell us how you can save money as an investor, especially if it's for a rental home. And he's also going to tell you some of the new and fresh ideas that he has as a general contractor can give you a great perspective on. So George, these doors here are actually the original doors that were in the house. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got them to look like brand new doors?
Well, thank you, Eddie. First of all, this door right here was actually had a hole in the middle here. Had a couple dings here and there, so what I did is I actually got this door, I put ready patch on it and let it sit for about maybe 2 hours, came back and did another setting of ready patch on it here. So what I did is I actually got the grooves and I put the grooves together with a little piece of paper to make it look original, the same thing here. And then afterwards what I did is I sanded with sandpaper 400, gave it a smooth finish. Then afterwards I gave semi-gloss paint and primer from Behr, which is the best product right now that you can actually buy at a cheap price at Home Depot. So right here, all this here was actually sanded down, give it that smooth finish. I actually gave it a nice texture finish, the same thing with this one, and this one as well.
Yeah,
that
it
actually
might be a little bit difficult to see on video, but this actually has a wood grain pattern on it. And even though it was patched up, it's a seamless finish now with the work that George did on there. So you could never even tell that was a patched up door. You also said there was some issues here, or some new ideas that you could give us with the baseboard, and what you're doing here on this project?
Correct. What I did here is this had the actual old school 3-inch baseboard with a little curve on it. So what I did is it actually had like a little half quarter round on it. I took that off, took off the original baseboard, and what I did is I actually went ahead, I did primer and paint, semi-gloss. That way, for being a rental property, some people, from the scuffs, instead of wasting money and actually going ahead and repainting again, all they gotta do is use a little bit of soap and water or 409, it comes out brand new. So what I did is, from the old school, I made it the new school South Beach style, which actually sits up about maybe 3 inches higher, and it gives it that nice finished look on it. Then what I do is I put it against the wall, nail it with a finish nailer, then I put some caulking on the top, and gives it a nice finish, gives it a nice classy look, and it gives it a nice revamp on the actual house.
Okay, and as you guys can see, this is a very modern, sleek look that it's giving the house now. And you said it's also going to save money, right?
Correct.
So this is actually a more inexpensive way to do a renovation, and it's giving you an upgrade at the same time. And there was some issues. This is the same floor. Like we were saying earlier, you don't want to change everything out, especially in a rental property. So, we have a refrigerator here that was refurbished and painted so it looks brand new. Remember that renters are going to come in and use that fridge, so they don't expect to have a brand new fridge. And the same goes with this flooring. The flooring was in great condition other than some cracks.
Right, some minor cracks that I had over here.
Okay, so let's look at those and what we can do to solve these issues with cracks in the floor. One great tip that George was telling us earlier, you always want, if you own a home, you want to save some extra tiles. You always don't want to have a box or two on the side in case you do come up with issues like this. So what's now the solution for a big crack on the floor like that?
Well, if you can tell right here, this crack here actually cracked through the grout. Didn't crack this tile, but it did crack this one. So what we basically do now is we come in 1/8 of an inch, cut it in a diameter all around, square it off, take out the actual tile, clean out what's inside, and then actually lay down the new tile, which is actually left over from the old tile batch, which is always good to save about 2 boxes of these, always as your spare, in case any cracked tiles due to being a rental property or whatnot. Right. So this is very important. So all we do is once we clean it out, we actually lay down the cement, and you will have a brand new tile right over it.
Right, so you just avoid replacing an entire floor because you can't find a matching tile.
Correct.
So that will save you a ton of money on a renovation. There's also a few more tips if you follow us this way. This AC system over here is also not something that was changed. So can you explain some tips about servicing an AC system and how you can make an older AC system still function better?
Correct. 9 out of the 10 times, sometimes AC systems, what happen is that a lot of the times, a lot of the issues that they have is dirty coil. That's for not changing the filter every 30 days, which is suggested to change it before the 30 days, more or less a 28th day, maybe 27th day. You change it out, clean it out, or you use reusable ones, whichever one you use. Clean it out, be consistent on it. If not, what happens? It gets all full of gunk, it gets full of dirt, it gets full of lint, you know, because that's what it's sucking in from the bottom. So a lot of the times it actually sits on the actual grill on the bottom, which is the pan, and it goes through the drain, so it creates a clog. So it's suggested to actually go ahead and pour Clorox inside your drain twice every 3 months and let it sit. And sometimes you can actually go ahead and just pour a little bit of water in it just so it can drain out some. But my suggestion is to just let the Clorox sit in there. 2 cups of Clorox will do justice, and it will make your AC last even longer than it is
Everything
now.
will start flowing better. And also inside of here, the coils, there was a great tip you gave us about cleaning out those coils.
The good thing though about cleaning up coils, there's a quick tip you can actually do. You can take the screws out of here, take out the pan, and you can just spray a little bit of glass cleaner on the coil. And what it does is keeps your coils clean. Ammonia does just as good as any other chemical that can use, but it's much safer. It's not strong, and you don't have to get an AC guy to cut all your copper pipes, cut the actual AC refrigerant line, do all this stuff and pay an additional $200 where you can save yourself an extra $225 and actually do it yourself.
A little bit of glass cleaner doesn't hurt, right?
Right, like they always say.
So let's move this way to the bathrooms. Bathrooms are usually one big source of expenses when doing a reno. So in these bathrooms, notice that this is still the old tile. It's just going to be clean. There's no reason to get more expensive finishes if the comparables in the neighborhood don't have them. So what is happening in these bathrooms? What is being renovated?
All right, so here what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this old vanity, which this vanity here was actually back 4 or 5 years ago, was still like about $100 in Home Depot, and it's still the same availability. Now you can probably pick one up for like $150, $175. Then the grout on the floor, you see it a little bit dirty with a little bit of towel and grout cleaner from Rubbermaid or Zep. We'll clean this up and make this towel look like a brand new towel all over again. And as you can come in here, you can see, instead of replacing a tub, we actually did what they call a 2-step process here. This tub was actually refurbished. It was prepped, it was sanded, it was actually cleaned with lacquer, and it was given it a nice finish afterwards, which actually saved, instead of going on and doing the installation and reinstalling the tub and the plumbing and etc., they actually just did a resurface on it, and this is all done in a matter of about 2 hours.
Right, so you're not just saving time, but you're also saving money on materials.
Correct. You're saving a lot of money on materials as well.
Exactly. So this is now the master bedroom that we're in. Same thing is being done in the bathroom for the master bedroom with the refurbished tub. But what I wanted to show in here is this beautiful finish on the walls and on the ceiling. George, can you tell us a little bit about how important that is in refurbishing a house to have that new finish?
Sure. Here's a quick tip. If you really pay attention to this wall, you see that nice, sleek, clean cut. This wall here had a hole here, had a hole here, and it had a little ding here. What we did is we did a nice 45 compound, then we gave it a 20 compound, then we actually went ahead and we sanded it down, gave it that smooth finish. Then this paint here is actually Home Depot special. It's bare. It's called paint, primer, and it's also eggshell. So what it does is actually you give it one coat of that actual with that eggshell finish on it, and then you give it a second coat, a light coat, and what it takes all the blemishes off, and it gives it a nice smooth texture as well. And if you look at the ceiling as well, the ceilings were pretty bad. Where you're standing right now, right here, all this down the line was cracked. So what we did is we did a nice ready patch. We broke into the wall. We did a cross on each end so the crack doesn't spur like a vein. So we cut the vein and we actually stopped it, and we did ready patch, sanded, gave 20 minute compound, sanded again, and then we actually did a nice ultra white bare and primer for the actual seating as well.
Yeah, and it really does make the house look brand new. You know, it gives it that new, fresh feeling. So you see how important it is to have a general contractor that is experienced. George has over 30 years in the industry, in the business, so he knows this stuff. As investors, we know some about renovation, but we're not the experts, so we have to leave it to the pros to give us those pro tips that can save us a lot of money. If you need a great contractor, contact us. George is happy to go out to your property and see how he can help you on some of those renovations, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.